If silver were allowed to trade freely, it wouldn't be $40, it wouldn't be $50. It would already be well over $100. But why hasn't it exploded yet? Because the last thing central banks want is the public waking up to silver's true role, the canary in the monetary coal mine. They proudly hoard gold, yet they go silent on silver. Why? Because silver, more than any other asset, exposes the fragility of fiat money. If you knew what the central banks were doing to silver behind closed doors, would you still hold cash in your checking account? Or would you unload every fiat dollar you had tomorrow? Now, JP Morgan might not be a central bank, but what they did to silver behind closed doors sent two of their employees to prison. I have a question for you. Do you think $100 silver is realistic? And when will it happen? Will it happen in 2026, 2030, maybe a couple of months? When do you think $100 silver will happen? And do you think it ever will happen? Please comment down below your answers. I would love to hear your thoughts. I did post a poll a couple weeks ago asking you all what you think silver's price will be by the end of the year, and 35% said 40, another 35% said I think 50, and then the rest were either like low 30s or 100 plus. So most people think silver's going to be around $35 or $40 by the end of the year, which is definitely understandable. But when do you think it will hit 100? Let me know in the comment section. Now, we're going to be talking about $100 silver in this article. So it's not just an investment, it's protection. With shortages mounting, demand exploding, and $100 silver inevitable, only early buyers will escape the fiat collapse stampede. Buy now or regret later. I've been saying this for some time now, that people will be wishing someday they can go back to August 16th, 2025 and buy silver when it's like $38. They will be wishing that, because most people, when they buy silver, it will be way too late, right? We're getting in before the curve. That's what you're supposed to do. When most people are buying, you should be selling. And when most people are selling, you should be buying, because people panic sell when the price is low. It's supposed to be buy low, sell high. Most people buy high, sell low. They do the exact opposite. It's so interesting, the psychology behind investing and why that happens. I get it though. When the prices are higher, you have validation that it can keep going higher. When the price is low and you don't understand or have faith in your investment, which you shouldn't be investing into something you don't have faith in or understand anyways, then you start selling it because it's low and your profit margin's down. But that's more like gambling, right? So anyways, here's why the system needs silver suppressed and why that suppression is cracking. If silver were allowed to trade freely, it wouldn't be $40, it wouldn't be $50, it would already be well over $100. But why hasn't it exploded yet? Because the last thing central banks want is the public waking up to silver's true role, the canary in the monetary coal mine. They proudly hoard gold, yet they go silent on silver. But why? Because silver, more than any other asset, exposes the fragility of fiat money. If you knew what central banks were doing to silver behind closed doors, would you still hold cash in your checking account, or would you unload every fiat dollar you had tomorrow? Now, I showed the justice.gov. This is a government website talking about JP Morgan's employees spoofing the silver market, getting sentenced to prison. Michael Nowak, he was the main guy that got caught. Smith and Nowak engaged in tens of thousands of deceptive trading sequences for gold, silver, platinum, palladium futures contracts. So what they did basically, and they had to pay a $920 million fine on top of getting sentenced to prison. What they did is called spoofing. And you saw they placed tens of thousands of orders. Now, these are buy or sell orders on these exchanges, but they canceled the order before it went through purposely. They knew those orders were never going to go through. They did that so then all the volume and volatility on the exchange from all these other people's perspectives is going crazy. They don't know that all those orders are fake, though. They don't know those orders aren't real, that they're going to get canceled. The thing is, though, here's the gray area. You're allowed to cancel buy or sell orders. So how do you catch someone with the ill intent? Well, these guys did tens of thousands of orders that canceled. So, of course, you get caught, but you could get away with it for a while. And for a while, it was just a slap on the wrist. It wasn't until like 2019 when the government started cracking down on spoofing and really started, penalizing people. So anyways, the alarm bell, they're desperate to muffle. When silver moves fast, history shows the public gets the message. Paper money is failing. That's why during each crisis, the runaway inflation of the 1970s, as soon as we got rid of the gold standard, the debt ceiling drama of 2011, silver spiked violently and just as mysteriously slammed into an invisible ceiling. So ask yourself, who put that ceiling there? The futures market illusion. The COMEX paper silver system is the perfect tool for control. A single futures contract represents hundreds of ounces of silver for every real ounce sitting in vaults. Does that sound like a market or a mirage? Right? It is. That's how they suppress the price. Every ounce you have in your hand, hundreds of other people think they own that same ounce, but they don't. I mean, the markets are portrayed that way. That's how the price is gauged, but that's not true. With this ocean of paper silver, banks can dump contracts at will, smashing charts without touching physical metal. What's the goal? To prevent silver from flashing that monetary panic signal to the public. But here's what they don't want you to look at. Scarcity is screaming, right? No matter how much you try to suppress the price of silver, silver is needed at an incredible rates. Silver is a magical metal. We're talking about elements on the periodic table. Step outside Wall Street's casino and the real world sings a different tune. Bullion mints are rationing coins. Industrial users locking in multi-year contracts at hefty premiums. Above ground investment grade stockpiles disappearing. Which story do you believe? Banker algorithms or physical reality? And that's a good point. And that's like what Andy Schectman says, price is the greatest tool of misdirection. Just because silver's price says this does not mean that's what the reality is. That's them manipulating this rigged price, but in reality, something much different is happening, right? Pressure that can't be contained. Here's why it matters. The system that depends on cheap silver is cracking at the seams. This year alone, 206 million ounce deficit, the seventh straight year. I actually did the calculations in my video I posted earlier today. 811 million ounces in the red the last 5 years. And now a new beast has entered the ring, silver-powered solid-state batteries, right? Samsung's solid-state battery charges your vehicles like double or triple as fast. They last way longer, but it requires more silver. Samsung's early solid-state tests are game-changing. Silver cuts charging time in half, like I just said, doubles battery range, weighs 40% less than lithium setups. Each electric car could demand a full kilo of silver. That's a lot. Well, I mean, think about it. Like some solar panels, it's like 50-something grams. But we're talking about a whole kilo. While trucks could devour 10 kilograms apiece, that rivals solar's appetite for silver, right? Because solar's the number one sector for silver demand. But with Samsung's new batteries, EVs could be number one. Imagine what happens when the auto industry pivots on mass scale. Do you think today's managed price can survive that tidal wave of demand? Low supply, high demand pushes the price up. When silver becomes a matter of state, this isn't just about your portfolio anymore. Silver's quietly becoming a national security resource. If your country's betting everything on green energy and EV rollouts and silver suddenly explodes to 100 or higher, what happens? Tech costs skyrocket, supply chains choke, and inflation roars back to life. If you think governments want the public to see that moment coming, think again. And I mean, yeah, like that's what I always talk about. Yes, we make a pretty penny, but at what cost? Like, think past silver exploding. Think of the cost of production of a Tesla or big tech, how much more things would cost. And then think even farther than that, what happens when it's gone and companies have a hard time finding it if they can at all. Even if they are willing to pay those prices, they can't get their hands on it. Then what happens? Elon Musk comes out and says they have to halt the production of Tesla or cut back, the annual, Tesla or whatever, that's what it would look like, because they wouldn't have enough to keep up these numbers, especially the mandated numbers like UK. Every home is going to have solar now. Every roof, every home has solar roofing now. That's a mandate, and UK will not be the last either. What happens when all of these people want a slice of the silver pie, but there's not enough pie to go around? No type of price suppression is going to be able to stop that. It just hasn't happened yet. And I do think it will happen by the year 2026. I've been saying when I see silver hitting triple digits by the year 2025, 2026. I've been saying that since 2019. You can go back and try to find videos from back then. I've been saying that since 2019. My forecast for silver, quote unquote, exploding is the year 2025, 2026. I think we'll be deep enough into the new green era. I think silver reserves will be depleted enough. And I think big tech will wake up, and the mainstream will wake up to see how valuable silver truly is without price suppression being a factor anymore within this year, next year. Obviously, it's looking like it's more towards next year, but still, we're at 14-year highs right now. We're at 39.50. We're about to hit 50, and when it hits 50, it will hit 100 shortly after, because that's 40 years of a resistance level we've banged our head against. If you don't think it's going to skyrocket after 50, you're going to be mistaken. Here's the bottom line. Markets never send polite invitations. First they whisper, then they scream. Silver's whispering now with the mint rationing, record deficits, vanishing stockpiles, and explosive new demand sources. The scream is coming. The overnight revaluation where $100 silver's not a headline but the new baseline. Question is, will you still be sitting in dollars when the herd stampedes in, or will you already have your stack before the music stops? Because when silver breaks free, there won't be a second chance to move. Yeah, it's not even going to be about willing to pay higher prices. You're not going to be able to find it. And if you don't think that's true, look what happened in February of 2021 when Wall Street Silver did the silver squeeze. You couldn't get your hands on silver. It was actually so bad that sites were crashing because there was so much traffic on the sites, or the sites were taking week, sometimes month-long delays on orders, or just weren't taking orders, period. You couldn't find silver. Every local coin shop sold out or closed their doors because they didn't want to sell it at these prices. Online places, you couldn't go anywhere. And if you were paying an insane premium. I mean, that's proof right there. And that Wall Street Silver thing just lasted a couple weeks, and that was a forced what's the best way to say this? That wasn't natural, right? That was a planned out event that all of these Redditors did from Wall Street Bets. Imagine when it happens naturally, which is happening. Imagine when it happens naturally. It won't just be a couple week stint. It will be forever. Anyways, though, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I already posted another video today, so go check that one out as well. If you want to purchase silver, then send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Slayer sent you. If you want to have a chance to win silver on a monthly basis, join the Patreon, patreon.com/silverslayer. Come introduce yourself in the live chat. We hang out in there all day, send pictures of our stacks, ask questions, just chat, talk, whatever. It's super fun. And on the 31st of every month, I pick a winner. So you pay $5 a month for a chance to win a $50 or $60 coin. And it's on the 31st of every month, so you always have something to look forward to. So it's fun. You get to engage with everyone. You get, it's called the Seeker Silver Society, so you get to make friends on there. Super cool. And the group is very small, so your chance of winning is pretty high. It's not like a main channel giveaway where there's thousands of people entering. There's only like 20 members, so you have a pretty decent chance of paying $5 and winning a $50 coin. Even if you don't, it's still very exciting to always look forward to that at the end of every month. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Go check out my other video posted today as well. Peace. from now on, every single month on the 31st, you have a chance to win silver, a continuous silver giveaway. Well, if you become a member of the Secret Silver Society on my Patreon, you have that opportunity. So every single month, you have something exciting to look forward to, which would be winning silver. On top of that, you'll have access to a live chat room with other silver stackers where you can post pictures and chat, just hang out with everyone, and have early access to my videos along with supporting me. If this is something you'd like to do, then come join my Patreon. It's patreon.com/silverslayer. Upon joining, you'll be given a monthly raffle ticket and instant access to that chat room. Go introduce yourself. Everyone is super nice, and it's more personal and intimate than a YouTube comment section. Folks, I'm so excited to announce that I've partnered with American medical experts whose purpose is helping veterans get the medical benefits that they truly deserve. Over 17 million veterans aren't receiving their full benefits, and if this is you or someone you know, then act now. American medical experts are offering free consultations through our med team to see how we can help. The med team offers board-certified doctors who have experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical evidence for services like mental health as well. Some of these include your Nexus letter, your DBQs, your TDIUs, your AAs, and more. I want to personally thank American medical experts for helping veterans, but also giving me an opportunity to help veterans as well. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment to get a free consultation through our med team. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.